What's up, guys? How we doing today? My name's Mr. Dad. I'm gonna be working on a little drawing today. We're doing a holiday emoji, Frosty the Snowman. I like to work with stencils a lot. A lot of people use bowls and cups, things like that, to make circles. I really feel like this helps a lot when you need a wide variety. And you can also do a lot of cool geometric drawings because I like to do that, which I'm sure I'll be showcasing here down the road. Alright, what I like to do is start with kind of a center line so we can keep everything relatively even and symmetrical. So I get a little center line there, and then you can just kind of, if you have one of these, line these lines up. And this is just the rough. I like to do everything in pencil, a little bit lighter, get everything the way that I want it, and then from there I'll come in with a Sharpie and kind of hard line things in. But if you are interested in getting stencils like these, you can pick them up at any kind of craft store. They generally have a section in their art department where you can pick them up. So we get two circles like this, kind of overlapping. You want to take out this line here so that this one kind of sits on top of this one. Alright, and Frosty's got a hat, so come about right here. You can draw a line here and bring the top of the hat around like this. Once you get that in order, I always like to come right off the edge of the head here and bring this line up. That's the top hat portion of the hat. So you can kind of get guidelines. Then you're going to have another piece that comes right about here in between these. This just kind of keeps everything proportionate. Then you do one more here. The edge of these you bring on over. So you kind of get a little something like that. And if you wanted to, you could erase these out just so you get kind of an idea of what you're looking at here. Now Frosty, the top of his head's what's known as an ellipse. It gives a little bit of perspective. It's kind of like a flat, semi-flattened circle. So, kind of looks like that. And you want to keep all these lines kind of flowing the same way. The same bend this line has, this line should have, this line should have. Makes everything stack out nice and proportionate. And really keeps your drawing looking nice and clean. Takes time and practice, so just work on it. And before you know it, you'll be drawing nice Frosties or whatever it is you're trying to go for. Sometimes I'll draw a little line like this, a little bit down where I want to kind of do my eyes at. And then from there, Frosty has a carrot nose, so we can draw a little carrot nose. And a good effect to give this nose a little dimension is to draw a little rounded back to it. That way it doesn't look so flat. We'll put a good little smile on him. So we all know Frosty the Snowman was a jolly soul. Okay, and we'll have him in this picture, we'll have him kind of winking. So we'll get one eye closed with a little eyebrow on him, and the other eye we can position about right here. Kind of sketch this in, and then put a little eyebrow on him here too. So it looks like that. And these eyes here, you can always put these little circles in. We'll end up filling around them and leaving those open, so it'll give the eye a little bit of a glittery effect, or show some glare. The next thing we're going to do here is draw Frosty's scarf. So we're going to bring this line down, kind of coming right along the edge of the body here, and then the same bend that this has here will come across like this. You tie that up in right about there. Give him a little bit of a shawl or whatever you want to call it. And then have the scarf go from thin to thicker out here. So it's kind of like the shape of a pyramid or a triangle. Let's say triangle. And then this, you want to kind of do like a little wave effect like that. Give him the bottom to his scarf. Alright, now we drew this line in here, and it'll really help at this part because we're going to take this, see all these little circles, and we'll be able to draw his button coat. So we'll just do that. We'll do one, we'll kind of space them out evenly, 2, and one more right here, 3. So it kind of looks like that there. Alright, now the next thing we're going to want to do is give Frosty some hands. So generally those are just like sticks, but hands are kind of tricky to draw, so I always draw the general shape. A lot of drawing, really breaking down objects and images, is shape. So what you want to do is just kind of get a shape, and you can leave them like that if you'd like, or you can kind of come right along the same edge of your original lines. So that one would look like that. Come along the edge of this one and just kind of loop them at the top. Same with this one here, and then that will give them a little bit more body, so that they look a little more, I don't know, maybe realistic. I guess you could have sticks that look kind of like we're drawing right here, but for me it's just a good way to kind of put some dimension. You know, that would also come with shading and stuff like that, so we're not going to get into too much of that. This will be more of a flat image, not so much 3D. So we will get this last little piece in here, and then you've got Frosty the Snowman. From this part on, I'm gonna hard line it in with the Sharpie, and then the next part after that we will have some fun with some color. If you really felt like it, you could always add some lines in here like that, just to give the cloth a little bit more of a realistic look. That starts getting into a little bit more of the dimensional end of things, because you would end up shading off of these dark to light. But then another thing that's pretty easy to do is if you put a little square up here like this, you can kind of put a belt buckle shape on top of Frosty's head, which is pretty neat. And then just so he's not kind of floating in space there, you can always put a little ground for him to be sitting on. So alright, this next part I will be drawing all this in with a Sharpie. Then because I drew this very lightly, I can come in and erase out all these lines, and then we can go ahead and color it. I'll probably time lapse this next part just to get through it, and then we'll get into some of the coloring, and after that we'll see how things turn out. Thanks again, guys. Grow, so never pass it up. And it is the holiday for giving, so we are giving away some tips on how to draw this Frosty the Snowman emoji. So yeah, once we get all these lines hard lined in, we'll be able to take an eraser and get rid of all this excess pencil lines and clean this bad boy up. So let me run over the top of the hat here, line here, and that right about there, right about there. This is a little tight for this thick Sharpie, but we'll make it work. And bring this up here and across. Alright guys, let's see, he is a happy Frosty, so let's get him a beautiful smile. Let's get these eyes done in. And if anytime I'm going too fast for you, if you're trying to draw along with me, just take a moment and pause the video and get it done how you need it to get done, and then as soon as you are comfortable and prepared, just start it back up. There's a lot of times that I will stop videos and start them because I miss things or want to understand them better, so don't hesitate to do that if it's going to help you. But let me see here. Let's get this carrot nose in order, and then we'll draw the outer lines for his head. Alright, we just got to do this outside line here. Once we get that done, it'll put us in a position to get Frosty all colored up. Guys, like I said, if you don't have, the opportunity to work with these stencils like I have, then you can always use a cup or a bowl. There's a million things around your house that involve the shape of a circle that you can use to create. So don't use it as an excuse if you don't have something like what I've got here. Just work with what you got, and as soon as you can do enough chores or work or whatever it takes to get the supplies you need, then invest. I'll put these little notches here because carrot's got a little bit of texture to it, like that, and there we go. Now all we got to do is get out our colored pencils, and we can get this guy all colored up. But first I will get rid of all these little lines here. All these pencil lines that I put in, they just come right out, so we just take care of those. And like I said, I always like using reference lines, reference pictures. You can always pull up emojis on the internet and kind of look at them. It's always good to grid things out and measure them a little bit, kind of like we did here with the center line that we did. It allowed us to keep everything pretty symmetrical and to draw straight lines down the center, put the nose in the center of the face, and then orienting the eyes with the line. You can do the same thing with the mouth and the nose. Could have put a line here, line here, line here, but these being a little bit more simplistic, we got away with just using a couple lines. But when you get into more detailed drawings, it's good to break things down into shapes and to grid it out a little bit, or at least put reference lines down so that you can get down with a cleaner drawing. But so far so good. We got this little Frosty going on, and next up we will get out some colored pencils and we will make him come to life. So if you like this video so far, guys, feel free to like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a bunch more drawings and other fun things. I got a little girl, Alice, and she's going to be partaking in a lot of this stuff with me too. So Feel free to keep an eye on what we're doing. We love to have you follow us and enjoy growing with us artistically and having fun. So I'm gonna get out some colors here pretty soon, and we'll get to coloring this bad boy, and we'll see what happens next. My art, I'm show you guys some of that stuff later down the road here. Some of the other stuff I do that's a little more technical, but for me, it's really just an opportunity to bring this stuff to life. So we're going to start out here with a red scarf. I'm using these colored markers here by Crayola, but they're scented. So this one smells like fruit punch. Thank God, because some of them do not smell so good. I think there's some of them. Yeah, this one smells tasty. Some of them smell like dirt, like old socks. Yeah, not something you're trying to be sniffing on for too long. So I think I picked a pretty good one to start with here. Got the fruit punch going on. Right, look at the bright colors there. Already looking like he's coming to life. I know Frosty is generally made out of snow, but I think I'm gonna color him a different color, just so that we can get some character on him. This here is kind of an orangish yellow tone. Smells like a flower. It's these Silly Scents by Crayola. Definitely doesn't smell too bad, so I'm not too upset about that. But we know carrots are orange, so that is what we do. Alright, we got sticks for arms. Sticks are generally brown, which this mud. Ugh. That smells like some mud. Look at that, it's almost too dark. It's almost as dark as a Sharpie. Pretty much looks like I just colored it in straight black, but that is kind of a deep brown, like a grayish brown. It's alright, we'll just fill it in that way and remember for the next time. I always like to do it a little bit lighter than the black so you can see a little bit of variation and still have the outline, but that still worked out pretty good. So being that it's Christmassy, I think I'm gonna do his headband here with the green, because green and red are Christmas colors, and we want to keep him looking nice and Christmassy. Gotta remember to let these markers dry a little bit or you'll get these smudges. Push those in. I'm gonna use yellow on the buckle to kind of give the impression of gold. So we got that green in there, and this is smelled like pickles. Oh man, it's kind of got a little bit of a bitter sweet smell. So let's dry that a little, because sometimes these things will bleed. This yellow smells like bananas. I like that. So we do the banana color here, and it gives that a little bit of an impression like gold. You can see it there. The hat, I think I'm gonna do the hat this brown. It's supposed to smell like a barn. Ooh. Smells like cows. Alright, with this, let's see, I'm not 100% sure how dark this is. So then we just start coloring this in. A little circular motion there off the bottom. And these would be really cool if you wanted to make a Christmas card for somebody you care about and you didn't have the money, or you wanted to just be creative, because sometimes it's nice to give people things you make and not things you buy. kind of comes from the heart a little bit more, and I always do that for my grandparents because they're artists and musicians and they appreciate it. Some people are not so into art, wouldn't appreciate it as much, but I know they love getting things from me that I've created, and you know, it means a lot to them because I sat down and actually took the time to create it by hand and didn't just go, you know, buy it from the store, which is, you know, fine too if that's the way you want to do it. But for me and with them, it just tends to kind of come off a little more heartfelt. So there we go. He's got the brown hat. What I'm thinking is doing him this, I'm not sure if I want to use this light blue, this grayish blue, or this gray to color Frosty. What seems more like the color of snow? Comment if you think I made the right decision here. I think what I'm going to do is use the gray for the ground here, and then I'm going to use the blue for Frosty. And this gray is kind of, I'm just going to kind of feather it in. Doesn't have to be perfect. Give it a little bit of a textury look so that it kind of looks like snow fell there. You don't have to be perfect on this part, just kind of wisp it in a little bit and it'll stand out there. Frosty wouldn't be mad. He would just appreciate you spending some time drawing him. Alright. Do it like that. Kind of give it a little bit of a natural look. And then we'll take this blue. Whoa, that is really dark. That is not what I expected there, guys. What I'm gonna do is just thicken this edge up a little bit, and then I'm going to probably use a different color because this blue is super dark. Another good thing to do is have a separate piece of paper where you can actually test the darkness of some of this stuff, because that smoke, that color smoke right there, super dark. So what I'm gonna do, I have some other markers here. This one's a Prisma. Let me make sure it's not as dark. This one's a lot lighter, so kind of get more of the impression I wanted to go for in the first place. It's not blue, but it's a lighter gray. And we will just go ahead and get Frosty colored in. And I'll show you a little trick that you can use once I get this kind of filled out. If you have too much of a similar color or darker tones and you want to bring in some colors that'll complement what you're already working with, you can definitely add some brighter colors behind it, like trees or flowers. I'm going to put some trees back there, which are super easy and fun to draw. Let me just get this guy all shaded in. And you could color this Frosty completely pink if you felt like it. That's a cool thing about art. There's no real right or wrong way to do things. You just kind of go with the flow and let it snow. Cool. So Now if you wanted to, you could take something like this, it's got a flat edge there, and just draw like that. Kind of like trees behind them. And then take a green like this and just go like that. And Christmas trees generally have a shape that's kind of like this here, like that, and then that'd be the bottom. So if you got that brown line going up the middle, as long as you just taper them and kind of go a little bit smaller up to the top on both sides, you'll get the effect of, you know, kind of a tree. So you just have some fun with it, and you know, you can do some of them darker, some of them lighter. There's so many ways to draw trees and stuff like that. So if you were to just go like this and like this, you know, and this here is definitely a holiday drawing. It's looking super festive. Frosty's looking real happy. Just keep drawing them up, drawing them up. I'm a big fan of what's called abstract art. It doesn't necessarily have a specific shape or form. So when you're drawing these trees, you can be a little bit loose and scribbly, and you know, you're not breaking any rules, and you know, the trees look pretty good. Another thing you could do if you really felt like it is stagger that, and if you want it, you could also come through with another green, like this, a dark one, this lighter, the same one we use in the hat up there, but you know, add some different tones in there. See, and it gives it a really cool look. And I'm just kind of scribbling lines in, but when it's all said and done, you know, we're gonna have a neat little picture here. And a stinky one at that, because all these Crayola crayons or markers kind of smell. So we just go like that right there, and voila, we have a beautiful drawing of Frosty the Snowman that we created. And if you wanted to, you could write across the top, you know, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, I love you Grandma, anything you want, you know what I mean? And you could definitely give it as a gift. You could go to Goodwill or a thrift store and get a frame for this, or go buy one from the store, and it would be a beautiful present that, you know, somebody that cares about you and loves to watch you be creative and grow as an artist would appreciate. So thanks again, guys, for watching my video. I hope that you learned something from watching this video, and we're going to be doing a lot more art videos for sure, and some other stuff with Play-Doh and just having fun and playing and being silly. Me and my little girl love to do that, so I'm sure you'll see her here in the near future. And if you like this video, make sure you like it and comment it, subscribe if you like what you've seen here. We always love feedback. If you guys want to see us draw anything in particular, please feel free to let us know, and we'll do what we can to get to it. You know, thanks again for watching, and have a good day.